Drop the bass.
Hey YouTube, it's Adam from imamusicmogul, and we're back with another video. Today we'll be remaking Starboy by The Weeknd featuring Daft Punk from scratch using nothing but Logic stock sounds and Logic stock plugins. So let's get straight to it. First things first, we're going to set our tempo to 93 BPMs, and I'm going to put a nice cycle range of 4 bars or 4-bar loop. And the first sound we're going to start with is the hi-hat because it is fairly easy to work with. And this video might get a little long because I am remaking it from scratch, but just stick around and watch as I put together the entire song Starboy by The Weeknd featuring Daft Punk. So let's get to making that hi-hat here. I'm going to bring in a drum kit. Actually, I'll just use the browser here. Let's go electronic drum kit, drum machine, and let's use the Boutique 909 kit. So let's use that right there. Let's record it. So the drum beat itself is pretty much a 1-bar loop that gets repeated throughout the entire track. So I'm just going to stick to actually 1 bars here. Just missing one over here. Just going to quickly add in a distortion, a bit crusher here. Something clicky like that sounds good and Daft Punky. Alright, let's bring in another drum kit here. And this time we'll be working with Logic's Drum Machine Designer. And let's see what claps we have here. So this clap isn't bad, but let's see what other stuff we have here. That's pretty good, a little long. Give it some body. Pull down. All right, let's go ahead and record that. All right, let's quantize that. All right, the next thing we're going to do is let's put in that, we'll change the sound here. We're going to put in a sort of a block type sound because that's what they had in the track. And so that's pretty much the sound right there. So let's go ahead and use that one. Go ahead and quantize that, make sure it's nice and tight. I'm going to push this one back here. All right, let's go ahead and start altering the sound. All right, that sounds good there. Next, let's go ahead and add in a shaker. I see there's one up here. Let's go ahead and add in that shaker. Go ahead and quantize. Ooh. All right, so that sounds good there. Let's go ahead and bring in sort of like a conga or bonga, something that kind of a percussive element that will fill out this drum kit like you hear in the track Starboy. So let's just go ahead and let's just replace that sound with our conga. So let's try and find one here. Okay, so let's take the low one. Let's go ahead and record that. All right, let's go ahead and quantize that. Let's push this one back here. All right, that sounds good, but let's go ahead and do some sound design here and get this sounding a lot more like the one in the track itself. That sounds good like that. I'm just going to go ahead and push up this block sound a little bit more. All right, that sounds good right there. Let's go ahead and bring in a nice 808. Let's go ahead and put an ES2. I'm going to use a preset that I always use. It's my 808 preset. If you want to learn how to make this from scratch, you can click the link in the top left-hand corner and you'll learn how to make this awesome 808. And it sounds really good. So let's go ahead and record that right there. Let's go ahead and quantize that. All right, so for this one, I just want to add in a little bit of distortion. I'm just going to bring up the attack a little bit. All right, so far the beat is coming together. Let's go ahead and create this to a 4-bar loop because now we're going to bring in our pianos and we need this loop to be longer. Oops. Wanted to do this instead. All right, so let's bring in a nice piano track, create a new software instrument track. And let's go ahead and bring in a piano. Let's use the Yamaha piano because it sounded something like that. It's going to create a new, let me just change this to pencil tool. I'm going to create a new 4-bar loop here and we're going to draw in our piano keys. So I worked out the chords before I started this video. So if you're wondering how do I know these chords, well, I worked it out before. Let's try that 1 octave lower. Okay, let's go ahead and put in our next chords. Okay, we're getting there. Let's push this up. And the last chord is the same as the second chord. All right, next let's go put in our our ear candy note here, which is, I like to call these little notes ear candies. So let's go ahead and put it in there and there. That's too high. Let's bring it down an octave. I'm actually going to put those ghost notes on a separate track so I can have more control over them. Let's just mute that there. I'll mute the chords here. And I'll push this to the right a little bit. First, let's go ahead and just mold our piano to sound a little bit better like the track. Get a more low sounding. Now let's go ahead and duplicate that and push that back. Alright, something like that is good to go. Let me just see if I can. Alright, that sounds good for now. I mean, for the video's sake, let's say that's a good sound right there. Alright, let's bring in a nice atmosphere sound. I'm going to create a new software instrument track. And let's bring in Alchemy for our nice atmosphere sound. So let's go down to categories, or let's try and find it here. Let's go to soundscapes. And let's just see what this first one sounds like. I'm going to draw in my MIDI, which is just simply the first chord sustained, as the Weeknd likes to put in his tracks. Let's just go with that. I'm just gonna go with the first one for this. All right, that sounds good. Next thing we're gonna do is add in the chorus hit, so that that kind of sound. But we're gonna vocode a sort of an audio loop here. I could record my own vocals in, but I'm not the greatest singer, so I'm going to spare you the the annoying sound of my voice. Actually, I'm going to take this sound because it's sort of similar to the one in the track. The I'm going to cut it down. And let's just make it a little bit tighter. so let's go ahead and just create that into a sampler track by control and click on our region, and then we can kind of play out the melody. All right, so let's get going to record this. That sounds good just like that, and you're probably saying it sounds weird and off. Well, I know. We're going to balance this track in place to create a audio track out of that, and then we're going to create a new software instrument track, and we're going to bring in Logic's vocoder, the vocoder synth. And what we got to do here is I'm going to just use the classic Daft Punk style sound. So I'm going to bring in a preset vintage vocoder, and we'll bring in clear voice vocoder, and we're going to tell it to listen to this audio recording right here. So now when I play, you're going to hear this. And of course, I forgot to put in my MIDI, and that's why we didn't hear anything. So let's go ahead and just drag in my chords to trigger the vocoder. Go ahead and bring in a nice reverb. Let's use platinum verb, sure. And maybe we'll put in a nice delay before the reverb here. Let's do a tape delay, and let's bring in a EDM delay. Alright, so something like that sounds good. Next, let's go ahead and add in that giant clap. So on the B side of the chorus, there is this giant, huge clap. So let's just go ahead and do this and push this over here. Let's just go ahead and create a new software instrument track so we don't adjust any of our other stuff. And we will bring in Logic's Drum Machine Designer. And let's go ahead and just bring in a nice giant clap if we can find one. Okay, let's see that over there. Let's record that. Go ahead and alter that sound. Quantize that first because my recording was awful. So now if we just bring it in here. Alright, so that's pretty much the beat right there. So if we just go ahead and quickly arrange this. Let's see here. Let's just do a quick, I'm not sure if it's exactly to the song because I don't have the song in front of me, but I think the beginning was just the 808 and these weird hits here.